Welcome to Bibliorex. I'm Bam Bam.
And I'm Bugs.
And I'm LeeLee.
And here we read the worst books the world has to offer. Ah, I fucked it up.
You didn't get your giggles out of the way first, man.
And we're...
Are you okay? Do you want to try again or keep it?
No, let's keep going.
Okay. Hi, LeeLee.
Hi, guys.
So, for our wonderful patrons, LeeLee is my little sister.
And my girlfriend.
And so we are just a big happy family. So if we have kind of random jokes that you don't get, I'm very sorry.
We'll try to avoid them the best we can, but we do tend to slip.
Yeah, LeeLee and I grew up homeschooled and isolated, so our frame of reference is not normal pop culture. And
It's true.
because I'm 9 years older, we grew up in basically different families.
Now that we've got that established, let's talk about some pop culture.
Which I was not allowed to read or watch this as a child.
That's so weird.
And then, LeeLee, you watched and read this?
Yeah, so I mostly read it like when I was younger, and then eventually once we got Netflix, I'd like watched a few episodes. But like I didn't really like we would just borrow it from the library. I didn't own anything.
What'd you think of this one as a kid?
I don't think I read this one as a kid. I think I read the back of the book and decided that it was boring enough that I just didn't want to deal with it.
And in case you didn't read the title, we are covering Attack of the Jack-O-Lantern by R.L. Stine.
Part of the Goosebumps
Part
series.
of the Goosebumps series. And I was forbidden. I saw a Goosebumps book at a book sale, like a yard sale. I was like, Mom, can I get this book? No, that's of the devil. And by the time you were in middle school age, she was like, I don't care.
Yeah, I was like 12 or something. Mom just was like, yeah, I'm tired. I don't have any more books to read you, so here's a Goosebumps. Have at it.
Did you grow up with Goosebumps?
No, I thought I was better than Goosebumps as a kid because I thought I was super cool and edgy.
Oh.
So, no, I didn't ever read a Goosebumps until I was an adult.
That's hilarious. I actually didn't read the book. I only watched the TV episode.
Yeah.
I didn't go out of my way to find the book for sure. We just listened to it.
Yeah, the episode is definitely better.
The TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the first half of the story of the book just isn't in the episode because it's not necessary to anything.
Oh, so there was a lot more in the book than in the
Like weird
TV
non-starter
show.
backstory.
Yeah.
Really?
For nothing.
Yeah.
It was done. Well,
You'll have to tell me about it,
Yeah.
because I don't know.
So we start with the character Drew, and we only find out like 3/4 of the way into telling this first part. Drew is a girl.
Because it's all first person narrative. It's like me,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's not like,
But it never tells us until like 2/3 of the way through the entire story.
And Drew can be a boy
Yep.
or a girl's name, but you often think of it as Andrew as a boy's name.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And that was the problem I had.
Right.
So the dad calls the kid Elf because of her sharp features.
And that she's little?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
interesting.
she hates it.
And she's also really mean and stomps on people's feet.
That's hilarious.
It's kind of an evil child. Like
That is so funny.
And she also has image issues.
Yeah,
And that's why she likes Halloween so much.
because she can dress up in crazy costumes.
And doesn't have to be herself.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's another reason why she really doesn't like her dad calling her like elf. It's because she's like kind of self-conscious, I guess.
Oh, yeah, they skip all of that.
Yeah,
in the
no,
TV
they
show.
skip the whole family
For the
dynamic.
best.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Because it doesn't come up.
Interesting.
So the dad is making fun of Drew's two friends who are twins.
Shane and Shauna?
Shayna.
But
Not that
I think it
matters,
is
yeah.
Shauna, yeah.
Well, is it a boy and a girl?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
With stupid twin names, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he's making fun of them because they're fat, and he calls them Roly and Poly.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, no wonder she has image issues.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't the end of the fat phobia either. It just keeps going, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, they live in Riverdale.
Yeah, like she was like talking about the town and it was like Riverdale. We're like,
Isn't that from a TV show?
Yeah.
It's from Jughead or something.
It's from there's a show called Riverdale, but they were like it was like based on like this comic series called Archie.
Yeah.
And that it was also based in like the same world as Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, I think. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it has an interesting backstory for that. But this is apparently an unrelated town also called Riverdale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the next child to come into this is a kid named Lee, who is the only African American in the story. And of course, because this was written in like the 80s and he's the only black character, he's a rapper, hip hop type character.
Cool guy, sportsy.
Yeah.
So they completely changed the demographics for the TV show.
Yes, they did.
Sounds like for the better, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was weird though that they just like it was like he had one explicitly black character and instead of keeping that in and just adding more diversity, they just switched around who the black character was.
Right.
Like they didn't really alter that much.
So was Lee a bully in the book? Because he's a bully in the TV show.
Yes.
Yeah, he is a bully in the book. Him and his, I don't know if it's his
Friend?
girlfriend.
I think it's his girlfriend
Yeah,
in
Tabby.
the book.
Okay.
Because they're like over at each other's houses all the time. It sounds like kind of like a girlfriend thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tabitha and Lee in the TV show, they're just shown to be like best friends.
Yeah. Almost like siblings in the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Drew makes a point of saying that he can't or she can't understand a word that Lee says.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And Lee is also a terrible liar because he claimed that he had a 42 speed bike.
Oh my God.
I looked it up. I could not find a 42.
Yeah, there's not. We had to check because it sounds just ridiculous
I
enough
was
to
like,
be a
that
thing.
can't be real. No,
So
they
he's
go
the
for
only
like
black character
12 or
and he's
20.
a liar and a bully.
Yep,
yes,
Good God.
it's not great.
with the coolest bike in town.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Then this is when we find out that Drew growls in anger almost constantly.
Like I didn't do a count, but there were so many instances of the book where she would just be like, and I growled. Like
That's
why?
like it's supposed to really mean something because
Huh.
it happens often enough that it's just a weird thing and doesn't really mean anything in the story.
It does come up
Like
again,
it's a personal
like, over
tick
and,
and doesn't mean anything?
No, it just
it's
means
just
that she's
angry.
angry.
She just growls in anger because
Huh.
she's, I don't know, angry.
It's just really weird.
I just have the idea of the sweet little African American girl who's
Right.
in the TV show just going,
Just like, yeah, no, in the book, she's basically just like wants to fight people. Like, that's
Wow.
like her whole personality is
because
like, I will
really
fight.
loved her character in the TV show.
Yeah.
I thought she was adorable.
Yeah.
Right. And like her family was cute and everything like that.
Yes, and honestly pretty wholesome.
yeah.
And I really liked that there wasn't any romance or boyfriend-girlfriend between any of the kids because they're just kids.
Right.
So Lee is throwing a Halloween party. Drew and everybody gets invited, and Drew dresses up as a Klingon.
Awesome.
Yup.
But apparently it's so terrible, all the other kids keep asking, why are you dressed up as a mouse?
Like what?
Oh,
How does that
no.
get confused? A Klingon and a mouse nowhere near
Well,
each
if
other.
he painted his skin brown and wore funky ears, he would look like a mouse. Because if you did old school Star Trek,
yeah.
they looked weird because they
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
have
'cause
the
they
ridges
didn't-
on their head.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just had like leather
They were
everywhere.
basically just
Space
brown
pirates.
colored Vulcans
Angry
with
men.
pointy noses, basically.
Space pirates.
Yeah, kind of.
Mm.
They didn't have that distinct look that came around in the next gen.
Right. So they're at the party now, and the child dialogue that is written is so accurate because it's fucking terrible. I hate, it's just, what did you dress at? Oh, what kind of candy do you want? I don't care. I wouldn't have cared about this as a child.
Well, I mean, granted, that is what children talk like, so.
I know. I grant that it's accurate. It's also fucking boring.
Well, you just hate children then.
But they're at a party, right? They're at a party at Lee's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not doing anything. They're just
all
standing
in the
in a
living
room
room.
talking.
Oh,
At a party.
That doesn't sound...
And the
Usually at a Halloween party, aren't there like games and stuff to do? Like bobbing for apples?
Yeah.
The parents, for one,
Yeah, the parents weren't there.
aren't like supervising, and nobody else's parents are there. And then they have
That's
nothing to do, so they
weird.
stand there talking about how great the party is without actually showing any of that greatness.
So the writing is bad too.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's terrible.
Because I've never read any of his
No,
stuff. So
it's-
is the writing bad? Is
Oh,
it, like...
yeah.
Oh, it's
In general,
terrible.
it's
Yeah,
it's
it's not
pretty
good.
much just like whatever he could get out fastest so that he could make a few bucks on a book.
Mhm.
Because like the books were like maybe 100 pages at most for most of them.
It's what you could get like a kid that just started reading and maybe a little past that, I guess.
Yeah, they had like some of their books, like he had a few that were actually kind of creepy and some good ones, but it was kind of just like wading through the muck and mire of the bad ones to find the few gems, I think.
And this one's muck.
Yeah.
So, LeeLee, you were a fan of the books and the TV show?
I like the TV show. I mean, it was really corny, but it was kind of fun to watch. And then the books, there were a couple that I did think were like a little creepy. Like they had a couple like scarecrow ones, like some different ones. I was really, really bored and needed something to read that would take my mind off of it. So that helped.
So yeah, all these kids are just telling each other how awesome this party is. And that's when something crashes from the basement. And Lee says someone's in the house. So his parents aren't there. There's no adults there.
Right.
And someone is coming up the stairs.
But he does go back to their room to like check for them, right? And they're like not there. Yeah, because he's like, they were just back in the bedroom. Like they were just, getting it on while the party's going with a bunch of 12-year-olds.
So is he acting like the parents were there or they knew the parents weren't there?
Yeah, Lee knew that the parents weren't there, but you don't really find that out until later, I guess.
Yeah, it's just all of a sudden the parents aren't there and someone's like breaking into the house.
Yeah. So 2 people come breaking in from the basement.
With ski masks, right?
Yeah. Well, they're wearing some kind of mask. I think they were like wearing like generic Halloween masks or something. So 2 adult-ish people come out from the basement, and that's when the funniest line that gets spoken is said, you can't come in here, we're having a party, some child, just random child says. So, like, that's hilarious, actually.
How dare
You're
you?
being
that is
intruded.
child logic.
Like, I'm sorry.
You're breaking social rules. You're not invited.
So the way the text says it, the adults are stealing the party. It's just real weird. It's
and
weird.
it's like not a party you would want to steal. It's a child's party.
Without even fun games.
Yeah.
And they're not old enough to
They
have
have
a
a room
booze and
full of
drugs
children.
Some
party.
chips
Like
and
this
some
isn't
soda.
a 16-year-old while mom and dad's gone
Right.
weed and beer
It's like
party.
maybe middle schoolers.
That is really funny. Like if Amy put on a Halloween party, no adult would really want to steal anything
Yeah,
or
no.
care. It would be, let's watch a scary movie and drink all the soda.
They'd be watching Goosebumps. Like,
So the two intruders come in and start telling the kids to do push-ups
yeah.
under threat of being pushed over.
But didn't they tell them to do it for like an hour straight?
yeah, like 2 hours.
Like they wanted them to just do push-up. Like a grown adult can't do that. What did you think? What?
And it was do that or we're going to push you.
Okay.
Push up or we'll push down. Like very.
Interesting. And they don't know these grown-ups.
Yeah, no.
No.
And it was like they didn't. It was like these randos just came in. And was like, what can we make these kids do that won't make us like go to jail?
Right. Because it can't be bad enough that a kid would actually be traumatized reading it.
Right.
But it has to be intimidating enough. A child will be like, oh, that's awful. Oh, what
Right.
if
Like,
someone
oh no, not
came and stole my
push-ups.
party?
It made me do push-ups.
Not the
I'm
PE
fat.
teacher just showing up.
So they find out it was a prank, and the intruders are just some older kids that Lee and Tabby are friends with.
Yeah, so it was just a weirdly elaborate prank
Mhm.
that also his parents weren't there anyway. I'm confused about that part. Like, supervise your children.
Mhm. So Drew, after finding all this out, lets out the loudest growl I ever growled, is what she said.
She said, and
she was mad.
it was like, I growled the loudest growl I ever growled. It was
And-
in that.
And of course no one cared. Like no one even reacts in the story.
Everybody clapped.
Huh.
Yeah, the other, and of course, Shayna and Shauna and Shane are there, and they're in like these big snowman costumes because they're fat or whatever, and so they have to wear and they make like a whole ordeal about how they have to like break their costumes so that they can go do push-ups, and then they're sweating anyway. Like it's like a weirdly
it
they like focus on
tangents
that a
off
little
this
bit.
for like no reason.
That's weird.
Yeah. So Lee's parents come home, and that's when we find out this was all 2 years ago. Like, if you hadn't already.
Yeah. No, this was so full of non-starters. That's why it's not in the show.
So in the TV show, all of that was consolidated into the sentence, they're still picking on you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like they did last
Very
year.
efficient. Like that. Yeah, that was the first thing I
wow.
noticed. I was like,
that's,
oh,
that's
God,
how much you
thank
could trim down this book.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
Yeah.
so then we go to only 1 year before current time.
So we're still living in the past, but it's more recent past.
So they want to throw a revenge party on the children.
Like 12-year-olds would do,
So specifically, they want revenge, but they also want to de-escalate so that the boys don't get more bullier.
Well, because they're like, well, we can't do anything actually mean, but we want them to know that we got them back. Yeah.
Okay.
Not the way prank wars usually go, but all right.
So all their ideas are either just stupid or mean to animals.
Yeah. What was the one?
Uh,
He had a spider. He had a tarantula, a
Yeah.
pet tarantula, and they were like, yeah, let's just borrow that and throw it at them so they squash it. No, that was literally part of their plan. And I was like, that is animal cruelty. You guys are the bad guys, actually.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Or
So-
they had like this weird slime and they were going to like make it drip from the ceiling. Like it was the weirdest prank.
They end up deciding to try to do all of the pranks at once. But
know.
they do have one plan that they're really excited about. So the lights just go out, and Drew hears a dry whisper says, "Come home with me now to the grave," and scares the
keeps saying
piss out
that.
of Drew. Apparently,
So who's doing the revenge party?
Drew, the twins, and one of their other friends.
What is his name?
I've got it written
Walker?
down.
Yes,
Yes, it
it's
is.
Walker.
Walker is
I was
the other
for some
kid
reason I was
in the
thinking
TV
Wallace.
show.
I was like, yeah, just this one kid.
So they've got all their plans set up. They do this like over the course of like days and claim to not have either ate or slept while setting all it up.
Because that's a
There's like
normal...
goo
Right.
on the ceiling
And it's
above
like
the
school
couch.
is definitely happening during this too.
Right.
Like you
do
had to
not
have
get the
eaten.
week of Halloween off.
No.
So the phone rings. The Lee and Tabby cancel on them.
And that was the whole
That was the,
point.
Yeah.
oh,
Because
also,
the sound, the voice was Shane and Shauna. I think they had like a thing that they were doing.
yeah, they were totally bad.
They were trying to
Mm.
show like what we could do to creep them out real bad.
Mhm.
So they had some slime set up on the ceiling that they were going to like dump on the bullies,
Like the Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards, yes.
Mhm.
but it it ends up dumping on the couch, and it burns a hole through the couch.
Yeah. No, this
Like, they
was
were going to
apparently
maim-
acid.
Oh my god, that is way escalating.
Yeah.
Way too far.
Like, how did these kids get acid in a goo form? Where? They said
oh
they
my
had like
gosh.
buckets of the stuff. Like,
Yeah, how did they make this?
Shane and Shauna, what's going on?
Jeez.
So we're finally to the current day. It's Halloween again,
It's always Halloween in this town.
Right.
and it's their last year to trick or treat. And
Why?
I think because they're like 13 or something, or 12. And you're
Oh,
not
and you
supposed to.
age out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like
Okay.
13 is usually the max year. So like in the first year, they might have been like 11.
Mm.
I think usually like 13 is like the last year it's socially acceptable to like trick or
Okay.
treat. Or maybe it's like 12 or 13, somewhere in that range.
Mhm.
Usually past that is like too old to trick or treat
Did you
unless
ever
you're
go
taking a sibling.
trick-or-treating, LeeLee?
I went once with my friend. I think twice, same friend.
Oh, okay. Because I never did.
Yeah. Nobody ever got my costumes because they were always like weird.
One time I went to a Hallelujah party and I was dressed up as Miriam and I won the prize.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we did do some of the church stuff that was like diet Halloween because it wasn't
Right.
Halloween.
Off-brand diet. huh?
Yes.
Do you know what a Hallelujah party is? Miriam?
No.
So it's a Halloween party, but you have to dress up as a Bible character.
That
And
sounds awful.
to win like
Everything is about
prizes, you have to quote Bible scripture and like name that Bible character kind of games.
Right.
Do you guys remember the movie Blade?
I remember
Vampire?
it from you
Yeah.
making me watch it. That's how I remember
haven't
it.
seen that thing shoot in a long time.
Right. So when it came out, I was a little kid, and I was obsessed with it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So guess what I wanted to be for Halloween?
No.
And for
And
anybody,
guess how my dad
No.
dressed me for Halloween. I got a nice little black vest, a toy sword, and black face.
No.
because for anybody who
Oh
doesn't
my
know,
God.
I'm not black.
Bam Bam is not black, but also Blade is a black vampire hunter who's also like a vampire daywalker.
And also, my dad, pretty racist.
Was A-okay with doing blackface on his kid.
Yep.
or didn't realize
Yeah.
like what that meant.
Oh, he knew. He knew.
Oof. Oof. Oh no.
And I remember I went to. There were some black people in our neighborhood. I
Oh,
know we
no.
trick or treated it.
Oh no.
I don't know why we didn't get
Smack.
beaten to death
Yeah,
with
like booed out of the house or something.
kitchen appliances or something.
They just beat you with
You
a whisker,
deserved
like
it and you didn't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway.
Wow.
that brings us to another point in the story. Here we go.
So they're all trick-or-treating again, and they come to a house where an old lady answers the door, and she invites them in, saying, oh, my husband would really love to look at your costumes.
And this was the part that was in the TV show, right?
Yes,
yeah,
it was.
that was in there. But this was set up as another non-starter.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, oh, he just loves children. Come up here. And he would love to see these costumes. And she like gave him whole candy bars or something. So they were like, ooh, okay. And I'm like, don't walk into strangers' houses. I don't care if it's trick or treating. Don't do it.
Right.
So they go up to another room, and there's all these other children
like chained to
in
the wall.
chains and crying. They're like, we're going to look at your costumes forever.
Ooh.
And then it turns out it was just Drew's daydream. And this is why we all have ADD now because of R.L. Stine.
and his non-starters. So yeah, we had to we actually had to pause the book, like the audiobook that we were listening to, for like a full 10 minutes and just be angry that this was the freaking second or third time this had happened, and the book had just it was like the book had just been this so far.
And that was kind of funny because I watched it with Jay and the kids twice.
Yeah.
The first time was just to get an idea of what was happening because I'd never seen it before. I'd never read the books. So I was like, I have no idea what's going to happen in this. And so that happened when they were going upstairs. And I was like, okay, okay, we're doing some creepy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. And then she wakes up and Jay wasn't paying attention. So later he was like, what was that thing in the upstairs? I was like, it was a dream. Oh.
Yeah. This is one of the lowest quality R.L. Stine works, I think.
Yeah. So they're all still trying to do their revenge plan. Drew growls again and tells his friend to sit down while he's thinking and pacing. Yeah. Sorry, I still had he in my notes at this point because we still didn't know.
Right.
So she tells her friend to sit, and she just keeps growling and pacing while she's coming up with a plan. And that's when Walker comes up with another foolproof plan, but doesn't tell the audience or tell the readers what it is or anything like that.
Does he tell Drew? And it's like a surprise
Yeah,
for everyone?
they tell it amongst each other. It just doesn't tell us, the readers.
Right.
It's like, then we came up with the perfect party plan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they all go down to leave, and the mom says, "Nope, can't go Halloween trick or treating this year because there's someone stealing fat people."
Yeah, 4 adults went missing in a town like, what was it, an hour away or something? Or it was like 2 towns away. Like some adults went missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they were all specifically fat people.
Yeah,
Beam me up, Scotty. I'm fat too.
And so that's like the kids are like, well, first of all, those were adults, so we don't have to be afraid of anyone who can kidnap adults. And secondly, we're not fat.
Well, the twins, though.
The twins are fat, yeah, but yeah.
So anyway.
But they don't care about the twins, apparently, because they're just like, we should go trick-or-treating anyway.
So are the twins still friends with them?
Yes.
Or have the twins lived there the whole time?
Yes. In this, the story goes a completely different route, like, from here on out, pretty much.
Really?
Yes.
So this is the very short period of time they align.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting. Okay.
So the mom says, it specifically says 4 fat people disappeared into thin air.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted so badly to beat up R.L. Stine because I knew that was the entire premise of the book. He just had to write out from there.
He woke up in a hot sweat and wrote those shaky lines and had to build an entire novel to write that sentence into it.
And then didn't know what to do after that, so he just shoved some stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So Drew whines, but still gets a no. And then the dad comes in and he's just like, "Oh yeah, you can go. Don't worry about it, honey. We're not worried about our child being stolen."
We're white in the book. They just don't care. I think, I swear, in the book, it sounded so much like he was trying to convince his wife, make the children leave so that we can finally get down and dirty. I swear, I need it. It
That's
sounded like
so
he was
funny.
desperate.
To just get these kids out of my house.
Yes.
So they invite the mean kids to go trick-or-treating, and we have to go through several sentences about the dad not being able to work a camera, and it's just very boring.
Yeah, old man, technology, parents are stupid.
Right.
You guys, I'm so relatable.
Mm-hmm.
So they're waiting to meet the mean kids, and they hear growling from the bushes. And it's not Drew. It's not Drew. Well, it's about to be Drew, but not right now. And it's, of course, the mean kids again.
The 2 older kids who were dressed up at the party 2 years ago.
Tabitha and Lee.
No, the friends. It was
no.
I thought it was the friends of Tabitha and Lee who jumped out.
I think right now it's Tabitha and Lee. I don't think that the other 2 characters ever come back.
Okay.
So it's basically the beginning of the TV show.
Yes.
The bullies are jumping out. And
from here,
them.
they're more or less similar, the same-ish. But it's weird.
Yeah.
Drew growls again and fantasizes violence and growls more. I don't know why it gets brought up so often because it happens constantly. Like, it's just static in the background at this point.
The growling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the twins are late and they just go trick-or-treating anyway. They talk more about costumes and about the logistics of how they were trick-or-treating.
Like where they're going, why they've chosen that route, I guess.
Why this house, why the next house. So then 2 figures in robes leap out from the trees and they just...
Shit themselves?
I mean, if they were really 13 or whatever, they probably would.
Sorry, I was trying to remember how this whole thing went down. Yeah, they just run away and they're wearing pumpkins on their head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're like down the street from them and slowly turn back and the pumpkins are empty. The entire group screams and Tabby asks if this is a prank.
Okay.
Yeah, like I guess Tabby thinks it's Shane and Shauna.
Right.
Like,
and Shanna and Shauna aren't there.
Yeah.
Right. So Drew also assumes it's Shane and Shauna, but can't figure out their costumes because their heads aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
So the pumpkins are silent and creepy and then just start whispering to lure the children, insisting they know a better neighborhood. They follow the pumpkins, who just keep talking about a better neighborhood and lead them into the forest. I don't know why I had this note, but for some reason, something led me to think that Walker was also wearing blackface. Because he had an outfit.
Yes, his outfit was specifically a dark and stormy night.
Right.
And so he like during the part where they're in Drew's house, like he talks about and
wearing face paint.
Yeah, and so like they were just talking about his outfit. So then when they're walking through the forest, it says something about like he looks scared under his dark face paint. And we were immediately like, that kid is in blackface.
Which he was not in the TV show.
Right. No, they did avoid that.
Yeah.
Good job, TV show.
So Drew is having doubts as to whether these are the twins or not.
Yeah.
They start trick-or-treating again at these houses. Everyone gets tired, but the twins insist that they continue.
But it is a better neighborhood. They are getting like
they're
hella
getting
candy.
lots of candy.
They have so much candy, they say they can't even carry it. Sometimes they just pour out their bags and just refill them because they're getting so much candy.
Everyone says that they're going to quit, but the pumpkins like block the way and trap them in a circle of themselves. Like they're going in a circle around them so fast that there's just a ring of these pumpkin-headed twins.
And I guess they have like flames inside their pumpkins because it's like spitting and like
so
making
like tracers
yeah,
of
and
the
it's like
candles.
sometimes it like bursts from them in flames or something.
Right.
So they continue under duress. The kids start chanting "No way."
No way, no way.
Drew shrieks that they're not the twins. Oh yeah, in this part it's actually confirmed that Walker is in fact in blackface.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
Oh no.
Tabby and Lee don't believe the situation, and both of them yank off the pumpkins, but the bodies just don't have any heads.
Right.
Which is like,
Does
did
the
you think
head
there were
talk to
heads in
them?
there? You could see the candle. Like, obviously the head would be under the pumpkin.
Right.
But yes, I suppose the pumpkins do kind of move to talk. I'm confused about that bit.
So they scream, and the children start inspecting the pumpkins as the pumpkins are laughing on the ground. Drew asks who they are, but they don't get an answer, and they all just run away, but are quickly caught again by these super fast beheaded twins. And they, of course, insist on more trick-or-treating, and they just keep saying, more houses, more houses, more houses, over and over again. And they have to trick-or-treat forever.
And then it
dun,
ends.
dun, dun.
No, that is the
Wait.
end of the book.
No, what?
Yes, that is the book takes so long to get started, and then it ends with them just having to trick or treat forever. Like it was this.
Oh, my
it made us
God,
mad. We were
that's
so mad.
bad.
Yeah, Because, like, even, like, on the back of the book, it said something about, like, oh, spooky trick-or-treating forever, or, like, scariest trick-or-treating of my life or something. And then it ends up being, like, 5 minutes of them just trick-or-treating for these pumpkin head people, and then they have to do it forever. The end.
That is so funny. So I'll do the synopsis of the TV show.
Yes.
And
we can go over the differences.
Yeah, basically, like, Walker and Drew are best friends. We get introduced to twins, Sheena and Shauna, and they get scared by Tabitha and Lee. I thought, watching it, that Shane and Shauna were, like, the bad guys, because in the TV show, they are acting weird.
Yeah.
They act really weird. But then it's like, oh no, they were just my best friends and they're visiting again. Okay. And yeah, so they synopsis that entire 2 years of back and forth.
Skip the whole thing.
They're still bullying you, aren't they? Well, we'll get them back.
Yeah, I was so glad when we saw that. I was like, someone knew what the hell they were doing.
Yes. And honestly, I loved Drew. She was so cute. She was so smart. Her family was really nice.
Right.
And
they did,
the actress was actually a really good actress.
Right.
Like, she knew how to make her eyes look scared.
Yeah.
Because a big problem with child acting is it's really campy. Children are not generally good actors.
Yeah.
But she seemed to have genuine talent. Like, she actually was able to really embody the emotions she was supposed to have. So, yeah. So we follow them.
Sidebar. The twins are not fat.
Not in the TV show.
Twins are not fat. Lee,
and honestly,
not black,
none of the
but
fat stuff came up at all in the TV show. It was only
until the end.
There were still some disappearances that had happened.
But at the very end, it does come back around.
It says, don't eat too much candy or you'll get fat and we'll come get you or something. But yeah, so I guess all that center part of it was a dream where they went to that house and got stuck in the attic.
Yeah, basically the same there.
Yeah, all of that was pretty much the same. But then they're going trick-or-treating and 2 pumpkin-headed people come out and scare them. But then they actually are like, we know a better place. And so they're like, okay. So they kind of do bully them into going to this other neighborhood. Amy pointed out that the 4 people that they were trick-or-treating from were the 4 disappeared adults.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's a good observation.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, wait, really? Yeah. I saw them in the newspaper. Like, okay, thank you.
I'm here for paying attention.
I was taking notes, so I wasn't paying that close of attention. So yeah, it was, we're too tired. The bags are too heavy. So the pumpkin heads took the bags, dumped them out and said, go do more.
Yep.
So forced them to go back and forth. But it was funny because the pumpkin heads had lobster hands.
Yes!
They had claws.
Out of nowhere!
And it was so funny. I was like, you could have gone with scarecrow hands or something.
Yeah.
No, they went with like 2 sweet potatoes that mashed together. Like
so
a claw.
bad. I was like, why would it have claw?
Yeah, and then ripping the head off, and it wasn't a person. There's just these shoulders. They zapped and blew up something. So they had like all of these kind of absurd power things, you know? And then it was like the kids got sick of trick-or-treating and they're like, we're going to run away. So they run back to the woods that they had gone through to find the new neighborhood. And, let me see, hold on.
Hey, didn't you have a bit while we were watching this that she took the newspaper and just kept it and she was like planning to do a murder or something?
I don't remember. I'm trying to look at the notes.
We had some kind of ridiculous bit for that.
Yeah, no, I was just like, obviously, no, I think I thought that either they were going to get back at Lee.
Oh, you thought she was hiding the newspaper from them.
Yeah, or something like that.
She's like, they can't know that I'm doing all these murders.
It was just like, obviously she's planned this whole elaborate thing of kidnapping and killing these 4 adults, and then she's going to take these kids and no one will question it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like the prank.
Right.
Return prank. It's like, we have to escalate now.
Yeah, so they get back to the woods, and at this point, Tabitha and Lee are actually really freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
And so Shane and Shauna end up being the Pumpkinheads. They come out of their costumes, they shrink to normal child size, and Walker and Drew are like, oh wow, how did you do that? That is like amazing.
And they're just like, yeah, we're aliens.
Yeah, just...
No, Drew is like, oh yeah, they're aliens.
Mm-hmm.
They used to be my neighbors, but then they had to move and they come back and visit.
I know why they had to move.
Well, I just kind of wondered if they live their life going around the galaxy and they feed once a year by coming back
Maybe.
at Halloween.
It did kind of sound
they
like
have
that.
a route of 365 other
Halloweens.
planets. Yeah.
It's just like
65 other
They
Halloweens.
graze.
yeah, they just pop around at Halloween at every planet.
So that part was like really baffling because there hadn't been any lead up or
No.
suggestion that these kids were actually not human or supernatural or alien
Right.
or anything except from their weird glaring.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the old episodes
Or that they were
Goosebumps,
shapeshifters too.
a lot of
Yeah,
the
like-
old episodes of Goosebumps, for some reason, the twist was just aliens at the end.
Oh.
Like there was one, it was like a summer camp episode. I can't
Oh,
remember what the
yeah.
ending was in the book, but at the end they were just staring up and it was Earth instead of like the sun or the moon or anything like that.
He
that's
did
Because they're
do
like
that,
preparing
yeah.
for an invasion.
That's funny.
So yeah, kind of a weird end, but better than the book.
Better than the
But
book.
then they bring it full fat phobic circle by saying, well, you know, we only eat fat adults and don't eat too much candy or we might come back for you.
Right.
And it's like, okay, all right, got it.
And so then they are like, oh, Halloween is the night you can just be yourself or be whoever you want. And so they rip off their human child costume.
Muppets!
And they have fist-shaped green heads. with
Terrible little
googly
Muppet
eyes
Muppet
sticking out the top of a human-sized body in a black cloak.
I'd forgotten about that.
It
part.
was so
So
bad.
Oh.
It was so bad.
It was
It
pretty
was
awful.
really, really funny. I was amused. I thought
Yeah.
that the little TV show 20 Minutes, it had a couple random non-starters, like that
Mhm.
thing that happened in that
Yeah,
dream.
yeah.
But honestly, I
It
thought
was,
it was
more
really cute.
concise. It kind of
It made me think of like a baby X-Files.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, I love X-Files as an adult, and I think I would have thought it was campy, stupid, and funny as a kid.
Yeah.
the show definitely had a much better grasp on how the story should have gone.
Right. Like, they actually had people who knew how to tell a story
Yeah.
and keep it under 20 minutes or
Right.
under, I guess that would have been like a 25-minute slot.
because the audiobook was literally an hour and a half
Ugh.
of
Yeah,
just
you don't need
that.
that much.
Yeah. And then like it was only in the last 20 minutes that we actually got to this Halloween and this is what's happening.
Right.
And it was all being whispered because
it was an ASMR audiobook.
Ew.
Oh, and it was
I
bad.
hate
The audio
those.
quality, you couldn't understand some words that were being said. It was bad.
I hate ASMR videos. They make me feel gross and sick. I know some people love them. I hate them.
No, it was really bad.
Oh, no.
And it was also like during it was like, you know, so those videos sometimes they'll just have something playing in the background because it's not like they were just showing the book or like what was being read, which would be kind of nice for me actually because I would understand. But instead they were showing this drone footage of a drone just going up a river, and every now and again this guy would just show up in the right corner, and I would just
Oh
track
my
how far we
gosh.
were in the video by this guy just popping in.
That would weird me out.
It was so weird.
That is so random.
Yeah. It was really bizarre, but I was just like the show definitely had a good grip on it. The book was too much. He must have been doing drugs. Like, God, like that's like the kid version of like Stephen King. So he was doing like diet cocaine.
If I'm remembering right, I think R.L. Stine got his start in like writing cheesy porn. I might be misremembering that. Nobody take me to heart there.
Jeez. I would need to read that actually.
Yeah, it definitely feels like he was a Pulp Fiction, you know.
Yep. He was like pounding out. I swear, I didn't look it up, but I swear it was like 3 or 4 books a year at least. Like he was just, I feel like they weren't even really edited for like continuity, nothing. It was just pumped out and sold to kids. I mean, kids as an audience aren't going to be that critical too. So I feel like that's, you know, probably the best audience to be able to do that for.
Well, I think that pretty well wraps it for today. Thanks to all our patrons.
Patrons?
Yeah.
Yeah, patrons.
Thanks to all our patrons. And happy Halloween.
You done did it. Thanks.
Did you not have a grade?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you decide on a grade for this?
Book gets a D. Episode gets a high C.
Nice.
Because it's for children, and children like juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say a B-. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Managed not to be as fat phobic as the book and things like that.
Drew was just delightful.
Yeah.
And Rory,
the outfits were cute, like the costumes.
No
blackface on.
No blackface. For sure. But
except where they should be.
Yeah.
For
oh wow, thanks. Yeah.
You know, for what it was, and for not having ever read it and watched it as a kid, I was like, yeah, I probably would have enjoyed that when I was, 9.
Yeah. It's definitely more of a target audience.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Thank you so much, LeeLee, for coming and being with us today.
And helping me do notes.
I had a good time.
Good.
I mean, not during the book, but the rest of the time, yeah.
Yes. Seeing me.
Yeah.
Fun. So, yes, thank you all, and have a great Halloween, and don't let those bad books scare you too much.
And we love you.
Why do you say that? I don't love them.
I love them enough for the both of us.
I don't know how to feel.